Hare Krishna. We just start. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamsha Namom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So last time when we just halted, we halted at how at the third shloka, where it is giving us the rarity of realized knowledge. And we started with the 7th chapter, where we saw in a bit details that how hearing will reveal this knowledge about Krishna. And then we saw about Gyan, Vigyan, we saw about even the rarity of that particular knowledge, which is a realized knowledge. And having said that, in knowing Krishna as he is in Tattva, okay, one does realize that okay, Krishna is the possessor of unlimited, inconceivable energies, and he is the cause of all causes, and he's even the pinnacle of the unlimited auspicious qualities such as omniscience and omnipotent, and he has a lot of affection for his devotees also. And then the next section which starts is from the 4th shloka. It says that it is giving as the gist of this section where Krishna is the source of both the material and the spiritual energies, the para and apara prakriti also. And everything that we are experiencing over here is a combination of these two energies. So let's see the 4th shloka. The 4th shloka primarily speaks about the apara prakriti or the Maya Shakti, that is the material nature. Says that Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayo Kama Mano Buddhireva Cha Ahankariti Yamme Bhinna Prakriti Ashtada. Somebody read the translation and the purport both.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Earth, water, fire, and earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, all together, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, by his divine grace. The purport: the science of God analyzes the constitutional position of God and his divine energy, his diverse energies. Material nature is called Prakriti, or the energy of Lord in his different Purusha incarnation expansions uh, as described in the uh, Sattva Tantra. Vishnu tu trini rupani puruksha 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 yanya atho vidu ekam tu mahat sastra द्विजम तु आनंदतमस्थितम तृतीयं सर्वभूतास्तं तानि ज्ञात्वा विमुच्यते. For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes three Vishnu. The first one, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy known as Mahat Tattva. The second, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, enters into all the universe to create diversities in each of them. The third, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, is diffused as the all-pervading supersoul in all the universe and known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these three Vishnus can be liberated from the material entanglement. The material world is a temporary manifestation of of the one of material manifestation of one of the energies of Lord. All activities of the material world are directed by these three Vishnu expansions of Lord Krishna. These Purusha are incarnations. Generally, one who does not know the science of God Krishna assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment of living entities, and the that the living entities are the Purusha, and the the causes, the controllers and the enjoyers of material energy. According to Bhagavad Gita, this atheistic conclusion is false. In the verse under discussion, it is stated that Krishna is the original cause of material manifestation. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this. The ingredient of material manifestations are separated energies of Lord from the Brahma Jyoti, which is the ultimate goal of impersonalist, is spiritual energy manifested in the spiritual sky. There are no spiritual diversities in the Brahma Jyoti as there are in the Vaikuntha Loka, and the impersonalists accept that this Brahma Jyoti as ultimate eternal goal. The Paramatma manifestation is also a temporary, pervasive aspect of Kshirodakshai Vishnu, uh, and the Paramatma manifestation is not eternal in the spiritual world. Therefore, the factual therefore the factual absolute truth is the supreme personality of Godhead Krishna. He is the complete energetic person, and he poses different separated and internal energies. In the material energy, the principal manifestation are eight, as mentioned above. Out of these, first five manifestation, namely earth, water, fire, air, and sky, are called five gigantic creation or gross creation, within which the five sense objects are included. Uh, and these are the manifestation of the physical sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. The material science comprises of these 10 items and nothing more. But the other three items, namely mind, intelligence, and false ego, are neglected by materialist. The philosopher who deal with the mental activities are also not perfect in knowledge, because they don't know the ultimate source Krishna, the false ego I am, and its mind, which uh, which constitute the basic principle of material existence, includes 10 sense organs for the material activities, Intelligence refers to the total material creation called Mahatattva. Therefore, from the eight separated energy of Lord are manifest in manifest the 24 element of the material world, which is the subject matter of Sankhya atheistic philosophy. They are originally offshoots from the Krishna energy and are separated from him. But the atheistic Sankhya philosophy, with poor fund of knowledge, don't know Krishna is the cause of all causes. And subject matter of for the discussion in the Sankhya philosophy is only the manifestation of external energy of Krishna, as it is described in Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavad Gita. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So if you see over here, so he says that Bhumir Apun Nalo Vayu. He says that all this, Krishna is describing over here that all this earth, water, fire, air, ether, all these, and kama mano buddhira, eva. So then this mind, intelligence, ego, they are ashtada. How many are there in total? There are 8 separated energies. And these are bhinna prakritir. Bhinna means separated and prakriti means these are my energies. So what does actually separated energy mean? Somebody might say that how can Krishna's energy be separate from him? So, Prabhupada would give a very simple example for separated energies. He says that milk comes from the cow. So the milk is the energy of the cow. But it is not that wherever milk is present, the cow is also has to be present over there. So milk is separate from that cow. So Prabhupada says that, so when he speaks, then his speech is put into that recording, and the recording is available for people to hear. So, the recording, so is the recording same as Prabhupada, or it is different than Prabhupada? Of course, so in one sense, you can say that it is the energy of Srila Prabhupada, the recording. But Prabhupada may not be present at a particular place, but the recording may be present. So in that sense, it is the separated energy. So he has also given an example that how separated energy is having even a different nature. One of the perplexity in the Vedanta is that it is generally that all religions, in all religions, that anyone who has thought about God might have thought that God is good. But how come, this world is full with evil? So there was a lady, she had asked Prabhupada one question that Prabhupada, if God is very, beautiful and God has so many energies and all, but then why this world is fully, full of evils? So then Prabhupada gives her a reply that, see, you are beautiful, but then why is your stool ugly? So she did not have any answer, of course. And then Prabhupada said that because that stool is your separated energy. So the idea is that one which is separated may come from the source, but it may not have the qualities from the source. So that is why saying that bhinna prakritir ashtada. And Srila Prabhupada has given a very special insight about this bhinna, where he speaks that none of the acharyas have talked about bhinna in that sense, that these are 8 separated divisions, and bhinna can be applied to prakriti or it can be applied even to this ashtada. Ashtada means earth, water, air, fire, ether. And he's saying that uh, so he's saying that these 8 separated energies of Krishna, and that is why he goes to a very philosophical section which says that Vishnu stu Trini Rupani. Trini means what? Three. And Vishnu कितने रूप में है? Three रूप में है. तो 3 रूप में भगवान है. And he says that where he says that Vishnu tu trini rupani. So for this material creation, Krishna assumes 3 Vishnus rupa. So the first one here, Prabhupada says that it's Mahavishnu, who is actually creating the Mahatattva. The second is the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and the third is the Shirodakshay Vishnu, who is as the all-pervading super soul in all the universes. And he is present even in the atoms and the molecules and all. So why is he saying that? Vishnu tu trini rupani. So there are 3 forms of Vishnu, he's saying that. And he's saying further, Purusha akhyani atho viduhu. So know that there are 3 forms, and what are they? Ekam tu mahata shashtir. So one is the Mahatattva, Dvitiyam tva anda samsthitam. The second one is actually which is situated in the anda. Anda means Brahmanda when we say, example, when you say this is the Brahmanda. So the first refers to Mahavishnu. From his bodily pores, the Mahatattva comes out, and Dvitiyam tvam andasthitam. Second is referring to the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, which is the explanation given over here. And Garbhodakshay Vishnu is entering into the Brahmanda, and from this and from the navel of the Garbhodakshay Vishnu comes the lotus flower on which Brahmaji is born, and that is why Brahma is called Aja. And then he is telling that Tritiyam Sarva Bhuta Sthitam, and he is saying that the Tritiya, that is the third, is Shirodaksha Vishnu, who is present in all the living beings as the super soul. And then he is saying Tani Gyatva Vimuchyate. So one who knows these 3 things, Tani, anyone who knows Gyatva means anybody who has knowledge about this, Vimuchyate, he gets liberation, he attains liberation. So Prabhupada explains that how this material world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. So the Lord's glories are so great that he has so many energies, unlimited energies. And one of his energy is the material energy. And that material energy, what is the swabhava? What is the characteristic? It has a temporary manifestation, and that is it's a temporary manifestation, that is this material world. And then he also explains that how limited this material science is also. Prabhupada is saying that material science can compromise. If you see over here, yeah, the material world is a temporary manifestation, one of the energies of the Lord. So he's saying that the other 3 items, that are mind, intelligence, and false ego, they are generally neglected by the material people or the materialists. So what these 10 items are, Prabhupada says that earth, water, fire, air, ether, and within which is called this five gigantic creations of this gross creation. These are the five sense objects that are included. That is the the physical sound, touch, form, taste, smell. Okay, and how is that Bhumir Apo Nalo Vayu? So Prabhupada is saying that Prabhupada has used this, he's saying that it is a very gigantic creation which is used, and he's saying that Mahabhutani. Mahabhuta means it is referring to earth, water, air, fire, ether, and Prabhupada is translated that as gigantic creation or the gross creation also we can say. So modern science, he's saying that he does not talk about the soul, and they do not they do not analyze deeply enough to conceive these things. So its scope becomes very very largely very gross matter only, and that is why its picture of reality is very incomplete. So now to get a very complete understanding of we should know the gross matter also, plus even the subtle matter also. And the subtle matter is what? The subtle matter is the soul. So when all these three are understood, then one's understanding becomes complete. So that's why Srila Prabhupada quotes about the Sankhya philosophy. And Sankhyites, they analyze, all these material nature. And he said that all their analysis remains within the scope of this external energy only of the Lord, that is the apara prakriti. And Sankhya philosophy generally analyzes 24 elements. But beyond these 24 elements is a higher reality, which the Sankhyites, they don't touch. And they did, of course, they don't touch means that cannot even reach to that particular level. So in that sense, the Sankhyites analysis is an incomplete analysis. So let's see the next shloka. So the next shloka will speak about the para prakriti, the jiva shakti or the living entity. Apareyam mitam अपरियमितस्त्वम् अन्यां प्रकृतिं विधि मे परं जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदं धार्यते जगत्. Somebody read the translation and the purport.
Can I?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Besides these, O mighty Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. By Srila Prabhupada. Here it is clearly mentioned that living entities belong to the superior nature or energy of the Supreme Lord. The inferior energy is matter manifested in different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Both forms of material nature, namely gross, earth, etc., and subtle mind, etc., are products of the inferior energy. The living entities who are exploiting these inferior energies for different purposes are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord. And it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. Energies are always controlled by the energetic, and therefore the living entities are always controlled by the Lord. They have no independent existence. They are never equally powerful as unintelligent men think. The distinction between the living entities and the Lord is described in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.87.30 as follows. Aparimita dhruvas tanumrito yadi sarvagatas tarhi na shasaditeti niyamo dhruvaneta radha Ajani chayanmayam tad avimuchan yantra bhavet samam anujanantham yad amatham matat tushtataya. O Supreme Eternal, if the embodied living entities were eternal and all-pervading like you, then they should not be under your control. But if the living entities are accepted as minute energies of your lordship, then they are at once subject to your supreme control. Therefore, real liberation entails surrender by the living entities to your control, and that will be happy. In that constitutional position, only can they be controllers. Therefore, men with limited knowledge who advocate the monistic theory and that God and the living entities are equal in all respects are equally actually guided by a faulty and polluted opinion. The Supreme Lord Krishna is the only controller, and all living entities are controlled by him. These living entities are a superior energy because the quality of their existence is one and the same with the Supreme, but they are never equal to the Lord in quantity of power. While exploiting the gross and subtle inferior energy, matter, the superior energy, the living entity, forgets his real spiritual mind and intelligence. This forgetfulness is due to the influence of matter. Where is this? Influence of matter upon the living entity. But when the living entity becomes free from the influence of illusionary material energy, he attains the stage called mukti or liberation. The false ego under the influence of material illusion thinks, I am matter and material acquisitions are mine. His actual position is realized when he is liberated from all material ideas, including the conception of his becoming one in all respects with God. Therefore, one may conclude that the Gita confirms the living entity to be only one of the multi-energies of Krishna, and when this energy is freed from material contamination, it becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated. Hare Krishna.
Is the font correct of this, whatever is being displayed, or should I change the font size? Font size is correct, everybody can read this.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, because some devotees are on mobile, so I don't want them, they should stretch their eyes too much. Or in case when there is purport reading, you can just refer to your own Bhagavad Gita so that you don't have to stretch your eyes. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So Krishna is saying that apara, aparayam. Yam means this. So he's saying that aparayam itas. Apart from this, there is another. So this is, this was, the inferior energy, and this was apara. And now we have para. Para, are para the categories. Apara refers to the lower, and para refers to the superior or the higher energies. So apariyam itas. So apart from this inferior energy, there is anya. Anyam. He's saying that. Anya means another. And what is that? Prakritim vidhi me param. So that is my para prakriti. That is my superior energy. And then he's saying that Jiva Bhutam Mahabaho. He's saying that there are living entities. So he's saying that Mahabaho. Mahabaho means he's referring to Arjuna. Almighty, armed Arjuna that he's saying. So, and what are these, living entities doing? Yayedam dharyate jagat. So they are maintaining the world. And how they are maintaining the world? So this is used in a very, Krishna is using in a very sarcastic sense that the living entities are maintaining the world in the sense that they are prisoners maintaining this particular prison. So if there is no prisoner, then there is no need to maintain the prison. So in that sense, Yayedam dharete jagat means that it is maintained for them because they are also so they're there, that is why it is being maintained. So because the prisoners are there, So the prison has to be there. If people stop, what do you say? People stop robbery, theft, rapes, and looting, and taking each other's money. Then why will there be a prison? There'll be no prison. Government will not form prisons. But because it is a human tendency to cheat and to put down the other human being, then there is a prison. So because the prisoners are there, so the prison has to be there. And of course, we know that it is not that we are maintaining this world. We are not causing the rains to fall. Of course, Krishna is the cause, and we don't even say the sun to rise. We cannot even cause all this because we are not the maintainer. So definitely, Krishna is referring over here that he's not referring to us as the maintainer. So it is in that sense. So now someone can say that no, this is referring to the living entities who's maintaining the world. Because somebody might say, oh, there are so many, planes, fighter planes, and so many buildings being built, and so much of, malls and, people going to the space and all, and that is why the living being is maintaining. So, uh, so, so if that were the case, then the living entities have to surrender uh, someone may say that no, this is referring to some living entity, or the living entity is maintaining this world, and they are the living entities themselves, means they are the absolute truth themselves. So if that were the case, then why these living entities have to surrender to the absolute truth? They have to beg for the mercy of the absolute truth. So if the living entities are the maintainer of this jail, then we are not trapped in this jail, right? We are not trapped in the jail, and we would not have to ask anyone that please release me from this jail. We are begging to the Supreme Lord that, oh, please, release me from this particular jail. So, um, so we are not that supreme being who is maintaining the world. And that is why Prabhupada is saying that he is actually quoting from the Bhagavatam that what is the distinction between the living entities and the Lord. Okay, so he's saying that aparimita druvas tanu bhritto yadi sarvagatas. So he's saying that that the living, just give me 1 minute, okay? He's saying that that the living entities are actually eternal, and they are the Supreme Lord. The living entities are eternal and um are eternal, but they're not all pervading like you. Okay, then they would be under your control. If the embodied living entities were eternal and all pervading, then they wouldn't be under your control, right? So, because we are under the control of the Supreme Lord, that is why we cannot be all pervading like the Lord. So that is the distinguishing factor between us and the Supreme Lord. And that is why he's saying that aparimita dhruvas tano britto yadi sarvagatas sarva gatas, he's saying that in all pervading. So aparimita means what? He's saying that the Lord is unlimited. And the Lord is aparimita means the Lord is unlimited also, and he is eternal also. Dhruvas. And then he's saying Tano Bhritto means those who are embodied. If they were all pervading, then they were as eternal as you, right? So that is why uh, he's saying that then they wouldn't be under your control. So we are under the control of the Supreme Lord. And because we are under the control of the Supreme Lord, then what do? We beg the mercy from the Lord that we want to become liberated. And the very fact that we have to beg means that we are not the infinite living being, right? And we are the finite living. Like Krishna is Vibhu and we are Anu. And that is why, because he is Vibhu and we are Anu, then that is why we are subordinate to the Supreme Lord. And that is why Prabhupada speaks about, the two energies there are matter and then spirit. He speaks about the spirit and matter. And matter has 8 mm, categories: earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. And that's where, Krishna is talking about that he is the source of everything that is existing in this material world. So let's see the next shloka. In the next shloka, he primarily speaks about, just give me 1 minute. In the next shloka, he is primarily speaking about how he is the creator and the destroyer of uh, uh, everything that is existing. So he's saying that etad yonini bhutani sarvani it upadharaya aham krutnasya jagat prabhava pralayastah. So he's saying that, somebody read the translation and purport.
Can I, Mataji?
Yeah, yes.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada translation. All created beings have their source in these two natures. Of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution. Purport. Everything that exists is a product of matter and spirit. Spirit is the basic field of creation, and matter is created by spirit. Spirit is not created at a certain stage of material development. Rather, this material world is manifested only on the basis of spiritual energy. This material body is developed because spirit is present within matter. A child grows gradually to boyhood and then to manhood because that superior energy, spirit soul, is present. Similarly, the entire cosmic manifestation of the gigantic universe is developed because of the presence of Supersoul Vishnu. Therefore, spirit and matter, which combine to manifest this gigantic universal form, are originally two energies of the Lord, and consequently, the Lord is the original cause of everything. A fragmental part and parcel of the Lord, namely the living entity, may be the cause of a big skyscraper, a big factory, or even a big city. But he cannot be the cause of a big universe. The cause of the big universe is the big soul or the super soul. And Krishna, the Supreme, is the cause of both the big and small souls. Therefore, he is the original cause of all causes. This is confirmed in Katha Upanishad 2.2.13. Nitto Nityanam Nityanam Chetana Chetananam.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So he is saying that etad yonini bhutani, thinking all these living beings that are there, and then he's saying that sarvani iti upadharaya. So he's saying that all of these aham kritnasya, so jagatah. So I am the source of all. I'm the source of everything that is there. And then he's saying that prabhava pralayah tatha. So prabhava means he's the origin, he's the source of the manifestation. And then he's saying pralaya, even the annihilation. He's even the shelter of the annihilation as well. That is what he's saying. So everything that exists in this world, he's saying that is the combination of matter and spirit. And everything is coming from Krishna only. That is why he's saying etad yonini bhutani. So this is the yoni of everything that we see. For example, we may see a computer or a computer screen. So the computer screen is made up of matter, not ordinary matter, but the matter which is, acted upon by a soul. So likewise, if we look everything, in this world is like a combination of matter, spirit, or a combination of matter, spirit, or a combination of both in various ways. Krishna is giving here the reasoning that to show that ultimately everything is coming from him only. So these two energies, the para and the apara prakriti also come from him, and everything we see comes from these two energies or their combination, and therefore ultimately everything is coming from him only. So in this way he's saying that I am the beginning of everything, I am the end, prabhava and pralaya. So I am, prabhava means the origin, and pralaya means the end of everything, and I am the beginning and the end of everything. So uh, so Krishna is talking about the beginning and the end. Somebody might question that why is he talking about, the beginning also and the end also. So see, if you see, this subject is actually about the what is that word? Subject is the glory of Krishna. And the glory of Krishna is that he is all pervading. And he's all pervading, not in just terms of space, not just that he exists everywhere, not just in terms of time that he exists at all times. Of course, that is definitely there. But he is pervading also in the sense that nothing exists but only him. That he is the supreme. His glory is that ultimately he is only the existence. That doesn't mean that, of course, that doesn't mean that we don't exist. It's only he's existing everywhere. But uh, we exist as his energies. And if you see in the previous shloka, so we are, the jiva is also called a tatastha shakti, or the marginal energy of the Lord. Because all those, uh, although we are spiritual and can control the material energy, but jiva sometimes comes under the influence and he becomes conditioned, and the jiva forgets his uh, eternal or spiritual position as the servant of Krishna. So we come from him and we are meant for his service and we are meant for his pleasure. So in that sense, he's all pervasive. All exists, but all is connected with Krishna, or the absolute truth. And that is why uh, uh, mm, and that is why in all this sense, all is manifestation of the absolute truth only that we are actually seeing. So Prabhupada is saying that over here is that that spirit is the basic field of creation, and matter is created by the spirit. So you can say that spirit is the Basic field of creation means that spirit is what activates the creation. And later, matter is created by that spirit. So, if you see, the cause of this big universe is a big or a super soul, right? And Krishna, who is the supreme person, is the cause of both the big and the small souls also. So Prabhupada is saying that a small child, may create a toy, or big people may create, skyscrapers and all, and factories as such. But ultimately, what we have is a combination of matter and spirit. So the body that we have is activated because of that soul that is there, and that supreme soul that is there, and the super soul is actually the activator, the maintainer, and the end destination of this whole universe. So when we talk about the super soul is talked about in three ways: the Shirodaksha Vishnu, which is the super soul of the body of the living entity. Okay. Then we have the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, which is the super soul of this whole universe. And then we have the Karadaksha Vishnu, or the Mahavishnu, which is the super soul of even the Mahat Tattva. And Prabhupada is saying that Nityo Nityananam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yudadhati Kaman. So there is one very special living entity who is different from all other living entities, and who are also conscious, and who are also eternal. And what is the speciality of this entity is that he is Eko Bahunam Yudadhati Kaman. He is the maintainer of everyone. And so in this world, everything is coming from the Supreme Lord, that is Krishna, and everything returns back to Krishna. And there are phases of expansion. Sometimes a person may have, some collapsible stick. When the person is walking, he can have a long stick, and sometimes sannyasis have a danda also when they are traveling in the plane, so that they don't allow, this. Sometimes in the plane they don't allow this danda, so then they have to have that, collapsible danda. So it is big, but this ball can be made small also and carried in his pocket also. So like that, creation will unfold also from Krishna, and unfolding of Krishna is talked about. If you see the third canto, the whole of third canto is, speaks about unfolding of the creation. And uh, of course, he is spoken about many places over there. But one element comes from another element, but ultimately everything is coming from the Supreme Lord. And this is actually the eternal truth. So if you see, now the next shloka which says that how Krishna is the maintainer and the Supreme Person also. He is the Supreme Personality also. So he's saying that very important shloka is saying, Matta parataram anya, sorry, Matta parataram nanyad kinchint asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam prottam sutre maniganai ivaha. Somebody read the translation and the purport both.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I read?
Yes, by all means.
O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There is a common controversy over whether the Supreme Absolute Truth is personal or impersonal. As far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the absolute truth is the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and this is confirmed in every step. In this verse in particular, it is stressed that the absolute truth is a person. That the personality of Godhead is the supreme absolute truth is also the affirmation of the Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. That is, the supreme absolute truth, personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna, who is the primeval Lord, the reservoir of all pleasure, Govinda, and the eternal form of complete bliss and knowledge. These authorities leave no doubt that the absolute truth is the supreme person, the cause of all causes. The impersonalist, however, argues on the strength of the Vedic version given in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, Tato yad uttarataram tad arupam anamayam ya etad vidur amritas te bhavanti athetare dukkham evapi anti. In the material world, Brahma, the primeval living entity within the universe, is understood to be the supreme amongst the demigods, human beings, and lower animals. But beyond Brahma, there is the transcendence who has no material form and is free from all material contaminations. Anyone who can know him also becomes transcendental, but those who do not know him suffer the miseries of the material world. The impersonalist puts more stress on the word arupam, but this arupam is not impersonal. It indicates the transcendental form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge as described in the Brahma Samhita quoted above. Other verses in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad substantiate this as follows: Vedaham etam purusham mahantam aditya varnam tamasa parastat tam eva viditvati mrityumeti nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. Yasmat param na param asti kinchit yasman naniyo no jajo asti kinchit vriksha iva stabdo divi tishtati ekas tenedam purnam purushena sarvam. I know that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to all material conceptions of darkness. Only he who knows him can transcend the bonds of birth and death. There is no way for liberation other than this knowledge of that Supreme Person. There is no truth superior to that Supreme Person because he is the supermost. He is smaller than the smallest and he is greater than the greatest. He is situated as a silent tree and he illuminates the transcendental sky, and as a tree spreads its roots, he spreads his extensive energies. From these verses, one concludes that the Supreme Absolute Truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is all pervading by his multi energies, both material and spiritual. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. So, this particular shloka, he's saying that Matta Parataram Nanyat. So, Krishna is telling that superior to me, Parataram, है ना? There is no truth. So, there is no truth better than me, higher than me, Parataram. And when you say Paratara, like in immediate, you can say that when you say good, better, best, it's like a superlative. And then he's saying that when you say Yuka, Yuktata, and Yuktama. So Tatra. So when you say Tatra, then Tatra is an intermediate, is better, at that level. So there is no better truth than me. Parattara. है ना? Na anyat. Apart from me, there is no higher truth than me. And he's saying that Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya. There is no possibility also. Why he's saying that I am the highest truth. And now Krishna is actually the supreme truth. So that doesn't make us think that he's okay, he's a king and who exists, above everything and everything else, and look down from that, above to all of us. And no, he's saying that Mai Sarvam Idam Protam Sutre Manigana Iva. So actually, this has actually two aspects. Okay, so he's saying that Lord's glory, in the Lord's glory, there is transcendence also, and transcendence means it refers to how he exists in the spiritual world, separated from everyone and everything, and he exists there eternally. And the second is immanence. Immanence means how is he pervading everywhere, and how he pervades all of us. So transcendence means God is, or Krishna is, beyond matter, and immanence means God is within this matter. And Bhagavad Gita is explaining both these aspects of transcendence also and immanence also. And in the transcendental aspect, Krishna is talking about the higher truth, the truth that is higher than, sorry, he's speaking about the higher truth means there is no truth higher than him. And he will talk about his transcendence aspect many times in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that in the 4th chapter also we had seen, he spoke about that Bhutannama, Ishwaropi, Ajopi. He spoke in the Bhagavad Gita, and he says that I am eternal, I am imperishable body, and I am the Lord of all the living entities also. And even when I'm coming in this material world, I do not get contaminated. And he says that beyond this material world, there is another spiritual world also, which has a transcendental aspect. And again, he'll speak about his immanence also, that how he is pervading all of this reality also. So he has got transcendent also and immanent also. So he has got separate from matter also, or he has got within the matter also. Somebody's mic is on. Sushil Prabhu's mic is on. Okay. And then he's saying that he is present within matter, but he is not contained by matter, and he is not limited, to matter. And that is why he's saying that that he can go beyond matter to the ultimate reality also. So actually, he's saying that there is no higher truth than me, because Krishna himself is the highest truth, and that doesn't mean that he's far away from him, Sushil Prabhu, your mic is on. Can you just switch off your mic? Yeah. There is some echo coming, from behind, so that's disturbing me. Okay. So then he's saying that, and then he's saying that he's the highest. That doesn't mean that he's very, very far away from us. He's also with us. He's accessible also to us. He pervades all of the creation also. And in the subsequent shlokas, where from 8th to 11th, he will say that how, from 8th to even 11th, he says that Sutre Mani Gana Iva. That very important, you can say metaphor he has used, that like, when I'm wearing a pearl necklace, or if I'm wearing a kanti mala, that we see that uh, the primary is actually the beads, and we see very nice, pearl necklace or the kanti mala, jewel necklace, we see beads, but Within beads, going through the beads is a thread. And what is that thread? Krishna is saying that I am that thread. So whatever we are seeing in this world is various phenomena. We see various things in this world, but underlining them or unifying them, the thread of truth, that is the Supreme Lord Krishna. So, he's used this metaphor to just give us a better understanding that uh, Krishna is there. Uh, Krishna is the underlining, unifying within this material world, and how he is the eminent within this world. And if you see Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan's commentary, on this verse, uh, he writes in his Vedanta commentary, and he also raises this issue where he says that uh, Krishna is saying that there is no higher truth than him. And then what is Krishna referring to? That because see, Mayavadis, no, they have idea that form is not the highest truth. Beyond the form also there is somebody who's an impersonal reality, and that impersonal reality is the highest truth. So this is their Mayavadi's idea. But Krishna over here is saying that Mattah, and Mattah means apart from me, there is no higher truth beyond me. And what does it mean that when Krishna is saying that me, so it is referring to himself. So that is why nobody can go in, some twisted interpretation. And that is why he's saying that matta parataram nanyat. There is no truth which is higher than me. And see, so if we want to follow the Bhagavad Gita, we cannot impose our own philosophy. Krishna has said something when the Gita is actually being said, or when Gita is saying, then we clearly have to surrender to Krishna. We cannot have our own interpretations, or we cannot twist and turn. And that is why if Krishna is saying that there is no truth higher than him, then we have to surrender to the statement that yes, there is no truth higher than him. And that is why, if you see in Srila Prabhupada's purport also, where he's saying that there is a common controversy that the supreme absolute truth is an impersonal, and there is somebody who's beyond, a rupam and all that. So, he's saying that Bhagavad Gita is saying that at every step, the Supreme Lord is stressing that he himself is the absolute truth. And Krishna, that is why he's using the word matta. And then Prabhupada is quoting from the Brahma Samhita, where he's saying that Ishvara Param Krishna Sachidananda Vigra Anadar Adar Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. And so this is also confirms that point that see, the Supreme Lord is a person. And who is that person? He is Sat, he is Chit, and he is full of Ananda also. And then again, Prabhupada is quoting from even the Shvetanashtarat Upanishad, where he's saying that Tato Yad Uttara Tattaram Na Arupam. Okay. So he's saying that beyond Brahma there is the transcendence, and who has no material form, he's free from material contamination. So anyone who can know him also becomes transcendental. But those who do not know him, what happens to them? Then they will suffer the miseries of this material world. So what is that point over here? He's trying to say that he's saying that arupam. He's trying to say that arupam. Actually, there is no form only. So Prabhupada is emphasizing the point that actually we have to look into this context, that this impersonalists are putting, more stress on this arupam word. and where he's saying that how can the supreme truth have no form? How can it be that the Lord does not have any form? So he's saying that there is no truth superior to me because Krishna is the supermost. He is smaller than the smallest and greater than the greatest. And he is situated as like a silent tree, and he illuminates this transcendental sky, and he's spreading his roots. He has many of his extensive energies. So if you see, the point is that it is Purusham. So, and that is why it's saying and that is why the first line only is starting from there, that the Supreme Lord is a Purusha. And Vedaham etam Purusham Mahatam is saying that. And that is why the Supreme Lord has a form. And see, what is the basic characteristic, of that Supreme Lord? That he's Aditya Varanam Tamasa Parastatat. So he's saying that he has such a nice complexion, Aditya Varanam. His complexion is such that he can take us beyond the darkness. Aditya means actually sun. Okay. And he can take us beyond the darkness of this material existence. Tamasa, Parastat. So he's saying that beyond this darkness of material existence, he can say. And then he's saying that Tvam eva vidit vati mrutyum eti. What he's saying that when you know him, and by knowing him, you can attain liberation. And you can go beyond the cycle of birth and death. Mrityum eti. You can go beyond the cycle of birth and death. And that's why saying that na anya pantha vidyate ayanaha. He's saying that there is no other path than this to attain liberation. दूसरा कोई पंथ नहीं है. न अन्य पंथ. कोई दूसरा पंथ नहीं है. There is no other path then to attain liberation. And then he is further describing the what is the position of Krishna or the absolute truth. He's saying that yasmat param na aparam asti kinchit. Apart from him, there is no higher truth. And he's saying that yasman na anyo na jayayo asti kinchit. So he's saying that the absolute truth, there is truth is so paradoxical that on one side there is nothing greater than him, and on the other side there is nothing smaller than him also. And somebody might ask that how can there be nothing smaller than him? Then he is saying that see how Mahavishnu is greater than the greatest, and Karundaksha is present even in the small atoms also. He is within the heart, even if the microscopic living being so actually small, like he's smaller than the smallest. So if you see the soul, the size of the soul is 1/10 of the part of the tip of the hair and all that. And then he's saying that yasman na anyo na jayo asti kinchit. So the point is that the Lord has inconceivable qualities or attributes, and he's greater than the greatest and then smaller than the smallest. And then he's saying that vriksha iva stabdo divi tishtati ekas. So he's saying that vriksha means tree. Just as this tree, iva stabdo means situated in one place. But from one place, it spreads the energy everywhere. Divi tishtati ekas. Ekas means ek jagah se it is spreading its energy everywhere. And then he's saying that Tene dam purnam purushena sarvam. And he's saying that similarly, the Tene dam purnam purushena, the Purna Purusha, he pervades his energy everywhere, sarvam, everywhere. So that is how he's saying that. So Prabhupada actually is quoting why from the Upanishads and also quoting that he is the supreme being, he is the supreme person, the supreme absolute. He's not impersonal. Prabhupada every time is trying to enforce this fact that please do not think the supreme person as an impersonal vyakti. And the absolute truth is a person. So Vedaham Metam Purusham Mahatam, he is saying that. Purusha, and that Purusha is, actually Krishna. And that is why, so Krishna, because Krishna is, that Purusha is Krishna. So in this particular chapter, if you see, the 7th chapter, the first part only is establishing that how Krishna is the source of all the material and the spiritual, and how everything is being sustained by Krishna, and there is no truth higher than him. He's pervading everywhere, uh, as that, Sutre Maniganaivan, the necklace is pervaded by a thread. So that is why the how Krishna, because see, Krishna himself is actually explaining that how he's maintaining this world. And the next 4 verses, Krishna is not only the source, cause, and the basis of everything, but how he says that I am the essence of everything. Krishna will say that I am the essence of everything, uh, like it is said that in the 4th shloka, he said that that element water has also come from Krishna only. And then if the element water has come from Krishna, then Krishna is saying that uh, Rasoham Apsu Konteya. I am the taste of water. I am the taste of that water. And whatever thirst you are quenching is actually, because of that water. And the active principle or the essence of water is that, that taste is Krishna's power. Whatever we are tasting, or without water we cannot live, right? So that's how. So now if you see the 8th shloka, let's go to the 8th shloka, we'll be able to appreciate more. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi surya pranava sarva vedeshu shabdakhe paurusham drushu. Somebody read the translation and purport both.
Can I, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, sure.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in men. Purport, Jai Srila Prabhupada. This verse explains how the Lord is all pervasive by his diverse material and spiritual energies. The Supreme Lord can be primarily pursued by these different energies, and in this way, he is realized impersonally. As the demigod in the sun is a person and is perceived by his all-pervading energy, the sunshine, so the Lord, although in his eternal abode, is perceived by his all-pervading diffusive energies. The taste of water is the active principle of water. No one likes to drink sea water because the pure taste of water is mixed with salt. Attraction for water depends on the purity of the taste, and this pure taste is one of the energies of the Lord. The impersonalist perceives the presence of the Lord in water by its taste, and the personalist also glorifies the Lord for his kindly supplying tasty water to quench men's thirst. That is the way of perceiving the Supreme. Practically speaking, there is no conflict between personalism and impersonalism. One who knows God knows that the impersonal conception and personal conceptions are simultaneously present in everything and that there is no contradiction. Therefore, the Lord Chaitanya established his sublime doctrine Achintya Veda and Veda Abheda Tattva, simultaneously oneness and difference. The light of the sun and the moon is also originally emanating from the Brahma Jyotir, which is the impersonal effulgency of the Lord, and Pranava or the Omkara, transcendental sound in the beginning of every Vedic hymns, addresses the Supreme Lord. Because the impersonalists are very much afraid of addressing the Supreme Lord Krishna by his innumerable names, they prefer to vibrate the transcendental sound Omkara. But they do not realize the Omkara is the sound representation of Krishna. The jurisdiction of Krishna consciousness extends everywhere, and one who knows Krishna consciousness is blessed. Those who do not know Krishna are in illusion, and so knowledge of Krishna is liberation, and ignorance of him is bondage. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So see, what he's saying over here is that rasaha, rasoham, rasoham api apsu konteya. So he's saying that I am the taste of water. And he's saying that prabha asmi shashi suryaha. So I am the light, the effulgence of even the sun and the moon. Sashi means moon and Surya means the sun. And then he's saying that Pranava Sarva Vedeshu. I am the Pranava also, the Omkar, which is the beginning of the or the invocation of many Vedic mantras also. And then he's saying that Shabdakhe. Shabdakhe means I am the sound in ether. And then he's saying that Paurusham Nrushu. I am Paurusha. Paurusha means the ability in a man is Krishna himself. So I am the ability in the man. And Prabhupada, translates that Krishna is, here Krishna is identifying himself with these 5 objects. What does this mean? Means that there are many different philosophies. Like, okay. And Krishna is saying over here that everything is God. So we will see that even in the 12th shloka, at the end of that section where he's giving the description, Krishna will say that I exist even beyond all these things. And when Krishna says that mamebhya varnam, what is that shloka? Okay, when he will say that mamebhya param vayam, that I am beyond these modes. And so he talks about this in the 12th and the 13th. But here Krishna is not literally saying. So when we talk about Krishna, that he is the taste of water, it doesn't mean that Krishna has reduced to only that Krishna that he's only limited to that taste of water. No, he's even much more. So here Krishna is talking that what is the essence actually saying that how just as a thread is the essence of the necklace, and just as like the thread is enabling the necklace to exist as a a coherent functional whole. So similarly, Krishna is also allowing everything to exist as a coherent whole function. And that is why the first thing that over here, he is explaining over here that he's saying that I am the taste in water. And when he's saying that the first water is saying that itself is challenging, that I am the taste of the water. Now, because sometimes, when modern scientists are, perceiving that because of their perceptions of this modern science, water, they might think that, oh, water is very tasteless liquid. So then what do? We put some sugar or some, salt, and then we can say, oh, water has got some taste. However, then he's saying that though, it is just one way of looking at water is, okay, water is tasteless, but for water is the most important part in our life, है ना? And though water does not have that very distinctive taste, so when we go to different places, we feel the difference. Like, see, if you see in Maharashtra, the water taste might be different. If you go to Jaipur, the taste will be different. If you go to Gujarat, the taste will be different. If you go to even down south, the water will taste different. Even if you go out of India, the taste of water will be different. So at different places, we'll feel the difference in the taste of water. So now we can say that water differs in taste as there are different things which are added to water, and that is why the natural water in India will taste different than the natural water that is there in America, or Australia, or Africa. And even at different holy rivers also, the water may taste very differently. So Krishna is saying that I am the taste of water. Whatever different tastes we see all around the world, that taste, I am the taste. And so Krishna is the taste of water at all places, okay? He's the taste of water in India also, in Africa also. And Krishna is saying that, see, because even if you see in Sankhya, when they do the evaluation of these various elements, okay, at that time, every sense object is associated with a particular element. So when I say that, when Krishna is saying that creation will unfold from the subtle towards the gross element, so ether is coming from air. Ether, sound is coming from air, and from air comes fire. This is there in the third canto actually. Even in the second canto, to some extent, it has been given. So from ether comes air, from air comes fire, from fire will come water, from water will come earth, and like that, when it is coming like that, then we see that the whole thing which is starting from ether, and from that, when it is coming like that, then the time along with that particular element, that sense object is associated with it, that also comes out. So if the sense object which is associated with ether is sound, and similarly the sense object associated with water is the taste. So sense object that is associated with fire is actually the form, and with earth is actually the fragrance. In the next verse, Krishna will give about the gandha, punyo gandha. So gandha is like that fragrance. So like that, each of the primary sense object, it is associated with a particular element. So the sense object of touch is associated with wind, and wind is felt through touch. And that's how, so when we say that it is associated means what? That particular element will facilitate our experience of that particular sense object. So like, for example, ether, it will enable that sound to be transmitted. And that's how we can hear, the sound. That is why it says Shabda Cave. So we can hear the Shabdas also. And then he's saying that, okay, so this is a little vast. I might not go into much details. We'll just go to the next. Then he's saying that Punyo Gandha Prithviyam cha Tejaschasmi Vibhavaso Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu Tapaschasmi Tapasvishu. Okay. Please read the translation and purport both.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'll read.
Yes.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat and fire. I am the life of all that lives, and I am the penances of all ascetics. Purport. Punya means that which is not decomposed. Punya is original. Everything in the material world has a certain flavor or fragrance, as the flavor and fragrance in a flower, or in the earth, in water, in fire, in air, etc. The uncontaminated flavor, the original flavor, which permeates everything is Krishna. Similarly, everything has a particular original taste, and this taste can be changed by the mixture of chemicals. So everything original has some smell, some fragrance, and some taste. Vibhavasu means fire. Without fire, we cannot run factories, we cannot cook, etc. And that fire is Krishna. The heat in the fire is Krishna. According to Vedic medicine, indigestion is due to low temperature in the belly. So even for digestion, fire is needed. In Krishna consciousness, we become aware that earth, water, fire, air, and every active principle, all chemicals and all material elements are due to Krishna. The duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish it. So Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So see, when he's saying no, the last that the duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish. So Krishna consciousness is very active sphere. So see over here, he's saying that Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu and Tapaschasmi Tapasvishu. So he's saying that Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. Who's giving that Jivanam? When we connect, no? Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu is like life and death is not in our hand. Like the doctor will treat, but God is the one who is actually healing that person. Doctor can do surgery, he can give medicines, but whatever else is required, but ultimately medicine is not an exact science. But exact science is when we say you take this chemical mix with another chemical, and then exactly you will get the result. But in medical science, what the doctors say, that you take this medicine and you'll be cured. But everyone is not cured by taking the medicines. Different people have different backgrounds, who know that, okay, what infection they have and how one thing will interact with another. So this is what actually, when we are reading these purports, no, if you see how Prabhupada's style is, Punyo Gandha Prithvimcha. So what he tries to do is, in the first paragraph, he tries to explain this Punya Gandha. Then he's saying that Tejas Chasmi Vibhavaso. Then he'll try to explain, Vibhavaso means. And one line, if you see, he will try to explain. And then Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. Then he's explaining the last paragraph where he's saying that in Krishna conscious, the principle, all chemical and material elements are due to Krishna. But the duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. And therefore, by Krishna's grace of Krishna, man can prolong or his life or diminish. So Krishna conscious is active in every sphere. So this is what he's trying to say, that Punyo Gandha Prithvimcha, I am the fragrance of the earth. And then he's saying that Tejas Chasmi Teja Cha Asmi Vibhavasu. So I am the life of all that lives. And then he's saying that Tapa Cha Asmi Tapasvishu. So I am the austerity of the austere. So whatever austerities a person does, Krishna is the real source. So when we are saying this, okay, when we say, that whatever austerities a particular person is doing, or the fragrance that is coming that is from the earth, that is actually from Krishna only. So when I'm saying this tapa cha asmi tapasvishu, so it is referring that what is capacity? Okay, a particular person has a capacity to be austere. But so capacity for austerity is also like an extraordinary. Like for example, when we are doing some Nirjala Ekadashi, for one day it is so difficult. But some people do Nirjala on every Ekadashi. Like in our young days, we were able to do Nirjala on every Ekadashi. But over a period of time, it became a little difficult for me also. So fast only by, we reduce, okay, I'll fast only by taking water on every Ekadashi. Some people can fast even for 3 days, 5 days, 15 days. Like, if you see the Jains, they can fast for maybe, I think, 11 days or something like that, only on water. So, there is one very nice that in Vashisht Muni's ashram, there were many sages, and some of them were like, surviving just on air. There were somebody who was only on water and at the very austere stages. The least austere were, those living only on leaves. So nowadays, if somebody has to live only on leaves, leaves only, then we will be like amazed to see that like in what capacity this person has. And that is why he's saying that the capacity for austerity is extraordinary. And that capacity for austerity ultimately is coming from whom? It is coming from Krishna only. So, for example, on a Nirjala, if I am fasting from water, I shouldn't say that, oh, I fasted from water. Where is that ability coming from? Krishna. So, who gave you that ability? Krishna. So, we shouldn't say that, oh, I did Nirjala yesterday. No. By the mercy of Krishna, by his, blessings, I was able to do Nirjala. So, Krishna can give different abilities to different people. He can give the capacity of austerities to certain people. So, when we see certain people with certain, these attributes, we should not become envious of seeing those attributes in people. But we should see those attributes are coming from Krishna only. And that is how we make spiritual advancement, by connecting everything with Krishna. Like even if you see, in some with some devotees, they're very good at some things. Like somebody is very good at playing the mridanga. Somebody is very good at playing the kartal. Somebody is very good at dancing. Somebody is very good at doing deity worship. Somebody is doing book distribution. Very good at book distribution. So where is that capacity coming from? Where is that ability coming from? We should understand that, hey, this ability for playing the mridanga is coming from Krishna only, and that is why we should not get envious of that person. Another thing is that he's saying that Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu is actually, he's saying that, of course, Prabhupada is saying that living or dying is not in our hands, but it is in Krishna's hands. And Krishna is the giver of life, and Krishna is ultimately the taker of life. So it is not that Krishna, has some partiality with somebody, and no, it is not like that. But he's saying that Krishna takes life, but he also takes the karmic reactions of every souls. And because see, every person has his own karmas, right? And his karmic reactions. So that way, Krishna will take away, his karmic reactions also. And that is why Prabhupada is saying that Krishna consciousness is that active element in every sphere. So why is Prabhupada saying that this Krishna consciousness is this active sphere? Because Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada personifies Krishna consciousness here as, so instead of, saying that we can be active in Krishna consciousness in every sphere, Prabhupada is saying that Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere, means that the capacity for Krishna consciousness is latent in every sphere. So that we just have to utilize that capacity. When we utilize that capacity, we can also be Krishna conscious. Now see, the capacity or ability is being given to every human being. How we utilize it is in our hands. And that is where, the desire part comes, or the will part comes. And the willingness to practice Krishna consciousness. So I might say that yes, the mercy is there. Some people know, they go to the spiritual master or sannyasi, they, please give your mercy, please give your mercy. But what do the sannyasis say? They say the mercy is there already flowing. The mercy is there in this atmosphere. How you catch it and you utilize it, that's the art. Like the mercy is there in the instruction of the spiritual master. But to what level do we grasp that those instructions and we abide by those instructions, that is there in my hands, right? Or some people say that, oh, when will I get mercy of the Lord? Oh, when will I get the mercy of the Lord? Yes, of course, that is lalsa mai, that is, that greed has to be there. But in terms that the mercy of the Supreme Lord is also overflowing. How is the mercy of the Supreme Lord overflowing? The very fact that uh, uh, we are getting association of devotees, we are getting the association of spiritual masters, we are getting the association of the deities. In that sense, the mercy is flowing in abundance. But now we have to master that art of capturing that mercy and utilizing it. And the more you share, the more you get. Like the more you chant, the more you chant, the more you will feel like chanting. So the more you will share, the more you will feel like acquiring that mercy, and you can share it with others also. So it's not going to be divided, it's going to be multiplied. That mercy will be multiplied for yourself also and for the others also. So in that sense. Okay, so let's go to the next. I'll stop over here after this shloka. Bijam mama sarva bhutam vidhi partha sanatanam buddhir buddhi matam asmi tejasinam aham. Somebody read the purport and translation both.
I can read again, Mataji.
Yes, you can read by all means.
O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Bija means seed. Krishna is the seed of everything. There are various living entities, movable and inert. Birds, beasts, men, and many other living creatures are moving, living entities. Trees and plants, however, are inert. They cannot move but only stand. Every entity is contained within the scope of 84 lakh species of life. Some of them are moving and some of them are inert. In all cases, however, the seed of their life is Krishna. As stated in Vedic literature, Brahman or the Supreme Absolute Truth is that from which everything is emanating. Krishna is Parabrahman, the Supreme Spirit. Brahman is impersonal and Parabrahman is personal. Impersonal Brahman is situated in the personal aspect that is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, originally Krishna is the source of everything. He is the root. As the root of a tree maintains the whole tree, Krishna, being the original root of all things, maintains everything in this material manifestation. This is also confirmed in the Vedic literature, Kathopanishad. Nityo Nityanam Chetanasya Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. He is the prime eternal among all eternals. He is the supreme living entity of all living entities, and he alone is maintaining all life. One cannot do anything without intelligence, and Krishna also says that he is the root of all intelligence. Unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So nice, so nice. Prabhupada's purports are really very, beautiful purports. So he's saying over here that Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam. Bhutanam, when you say Bhutana, Bhut means actually living entities. And then he's saying Sarva Bhutanam, all the living entities. So he's saying that I am the seed of all the living beings. And then he's saying Vidhi Partha Sanatanam. So I am the eternal seed. I am that imperishable seed. I am that indestructible seed. And which means what? This can be actually connected with that, earlier shloka where we said that Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. So when the complete comes out from the when the complete comes out, then he's saying that Om Purnam Adam, and when the complete comes out of the complete, what is remaining is the complete only. So normally when the seed rises to something, say to the tree, the seed no longer exists. The seed is now getting transformed into a tree. And even this egg is formed into an embryo. And then this embryo will give rise to a child. So now the embryo is no longer existing. So Krishna is saying that normally the seed does not exist. And one seed gives only one kind of tree. But Krishna is saying that I am such a seed which is giving all kinds of trees, which means all kinds of living entities or living beings which are existing and which come out from me. And he's saying that I am such a seed, I do not get exhausted. I never get exhausted, right? And he's saying that, and that is why, what kind of seed I am? I am Sanatanam, original, eternal seed. And so if you see all living entities or all living beings, there are so many varieties which are coming from Krishna, and still Krishna will remain the original truth. Krishna will remain this Sanatanam. He is the imperishable truth. And then he's saying that Buddhi Matam Asmi. Buddhi Matam Asmi. So he's saying that, Krishna is saying that I am the intelligence of the intelligent. So some people have, very great intelligence. The way they recollect, the way they express, the way they analyze, to impress people. So that is their, defining characteristic of brilliant people. Their brilliance and their, intellect. So from where is that coming from? That is coming from Krishna itself. And then he's saying that Teja Tejasvinam Aham. Tejasvina. So he's saying that power. So I am the power of the powerful. Some people are very powerful in terms of maybe somebody might be very powerful, boxer, and he can knock down many people as such. Or uh, uh, somebody somebody may be thinking that, oh, he's such a powerful person that he can, shake the whole, of the country. So people may be attracted to such people, but ultimately we have to understand that this power is coming from Krishna only. And then why is Prabhupada, Prabhupada is saying about Nityo Nitana Chetanas Chetana Nam. So because Krishna is the uh, eternal person, he is the prime eternal, he is the supreme living entity. And one cannot do anything without intelligence, and Krishna is the root of that intelligence. This is what actually, and uh, that is why he's saying that. For example, why did Krishna give intelligence? Because until and unless a person has intelligence, he will not be able to understand Krishna at all. And that is why that intelligence is coming from Krishna only to understand himself only. This is what they're trying to say. Okay, I just rest my speech over here because so the next section that we'll be having, no, from 13th to 19th, it's a very, very, very important section. Please do not miss next time's class. Even if you are traveling or anyway, you'll put on and hear, at least on hearing mode you'll be. Because the next section is going to speak about surrendering to the Supreme Lord. How to surrender to the Supreme Lord, and how can only Keval Bhakti, the rarity of pure devotees, will be actually given. I'll be discussing more on that. So please do not miss the next class, okay? Okay, any questions, queries, doubts you all have, you can ask. Okay, so if somebody does not have any doubt, let me discuss about the exam part. Because the last exam that we conducted, some devotees were not able to give that examination. I've put it in the WhatsApp chat. So you all can give it to the, what do you say? You all can give it on the 17th of March. Why on the 17th of March? Because there is another Hindi batch that I take on Sundays, and they have completed the 12th chapter with me. So they will be giving from 7 to 12, and you all will be giving from 1 to 6. So in that I'll be clubbing both the batches, and that's how we'll be taking. And shloka test, maybe you all can give the same day. If you don't want to give the same day, then I think I have given one more date, right? कौन सा date दिया है मैंने? I also forget. Yeah, CBA date I have given as 17th March. OBA again same date, 17th March. Shloka test is again 31st March. From chapter 1 to 6, Shloka test on 31st of March. Why 31st of March? It is a Sunday. And the Hindi batch is also going to give me a Shloka test on the same day. So that's how I've scheduled it, so that I save time and maybe I can do some other services also. So, anybody has any query or doubt on the CBA that is rescheduled on the 17th of March? Those who have not given. Okay, if nobody has any queries, I rest my speech over here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna.